Driver is the topic of this video today, and the driver that has been the biggest surprise to me is something that might be the biggest surprise to you. And although with the Paradigm Triple Diamond I've hit drivers like that pretty much all year, this is not the biggest surprise to me. This, I would say, is the best driver of the year, and I have said that in multiple videos recently. But the biggest surprise for me is a driver that if you are struggling to get off the tee and you want to go something that's going to pretty much guarantee you get a little bit of a more centered strike, a little bit more control on your golf ball, then the TaylorMade Burner Mini Driver is something for you certainly to take a look at. Something that could really help you hit more fairways, and I'm going to put that to the test now against the Paradigm Triple Diamond, which, like I said, I believe is the best driver of 2023. Now, a big thing with the Mini Driver is that a lot of people don't know what to do with it. Are you treating it like a proper driver? Are you teeing it up the same? Well, no, we're going to tee it down a little bit. We're going to get it still half a ball above this driver, but one big thing is you can tee this down. You can treat it a little bit more like a fairway would, and for me, what I do like is that it's got that shorter shaft length. So for the everyday golfer, certainly for somebody like mid-handicap Dave, which will not mention what he did to this driver, it's perfect. It gets him a little bit closer to the golf ball, it gets him in some better angles, and it also gets him with a smaller head swinging within himself. And for me, I use this driver, I used the previous model, and it was fantastic. And you can just hit great shots like that. A bullet ball flight that had no movement whatsoever on it, and it'll be very interesting when we get down there to see how close to the Paradigm that has actually got. I felt like they were very similar strikes. I do feel like I have to swing within myself a little bit more with the driver, with the Mini Driver, should I say. And that's what I think happens to everyday golfers. They start to swing within themselves, they start to get a good strike. And yes, this is a driver that actually has gone up in price in the second-hand market, but it's going to be almost half the cost of one of the latest drivers that's out at the moment. And certainly when the new drivers come out in the new year, then it's going to still be a steal. And if you're struggling to get off the tee and you want something that you're going to have a little bit more control of, this could be perfect for you. But let's talk a little bit more about it and see where else you can use it. And down here in the fairway, we can see the Mini Driver has left me a reasonable distance into this par 4. And we'll see that on the exact same line is the Paradigm. So probably a little bit more of a centered hit with the Mini Driver. But for me, I didn't feel like I've had to go after that Mini Driver. I've just hit it within myself. I've got a better strike. The ball flight was better. It was a lot straighter, and it's a fairway. Yes, the Paradigm's in the fairway, a little bit more off-centered. Even for me, sometimes you always try and go at it, which I know mid-handicap Dave does, and that's why this was a great option for him. He did really enjoy it. But let's see where else this is a good driver for. Where else can you use this? How else is it going to help you? It's a 13.5-degree driver, set down at 11.5 degrees of loft, but what does the weight system do? What can you do with this Mini Driver that you couldn't do with a traditional, normal, standard length driver? Now, other than just looking retro and going old school with the paintwork and trying to go back to more of a traditionalist look from TaylorMade, they also was the first Mini Driver to have adjustable weights on the bottom. And you can see we've got the heavy weight at the front and the light weight at the back. And this is really for somebody who uses it off the tee. You want to still get that distance out there. It's a little bit of a low spin setting, which is why I had it in there. When I was struggling with the driver and I was trying to use this Mini Driver, I still wanted to get out there. And we're going to get in the studio soon and hit some numbers, but we can change those weights around. So if you are somebody who uses it off the tee a lot, then you might have that weight setting just like that, making sure we've got low spin, it's not spinning up and you're not losing too much distance. But if you're somebody who might use it in the fairway a little bit more, you could adjust that weight, you could get that weight a little bit further back, it can help you get a little bit more launch, and that's why it was perfect for mid-handicap Dave. He had the weight setting the opposite. He wanted to get a little bit more launch, and from there he was thinking, right, I can use it off the tee, but can I use it off the fairway as well? But for him with his 5-wood, he was probably maxing out around about 200 yards. His driver was getting out to 220, but obviously this might then give him that little bit more, so this might act like a 3-wood. Dave didn't like a 3-wood. This is a little bit bigger. You could get those weight settings, but it's another option where this Mini Driver, unlike a driver, you can feel like you can stand over it. But for me here, I'm 260 yards out, and this is where I feel like, okay, I couldn't maybe get there, it'd be a stretch for the 5-wood, so I've then got this as an option where if I did have it with the reverse weights, I might use this out of the fairway. But I'm going to try it now with the low spin one at the front. Can I still launch this? Can I make this a nice easy swing to get me 260 yards and towards this par 5 green? So can I use it as versatile as I want it to be? Can I use it off the tee and then out of the fairway? fairway. This might be a rare shot, but you might think I've got the club in the bag and it's the perfect one for this shot. So again, off the fairway, I'm just going to treat it a bit like a fairway would, so not as far forward as in the stance. A nice swing. Can I get it to launch like a 3 would or better? And that has. Leaking a little bit right there, a little bit of a fade, but that's looks like to be pin high, a little divot there, exactly what I'd expect from a fairway wood. But let's get into the shoe now, put these numbers to the test, and can I get it out there competing with what I think is the best driver of 2023? Can I get it as close, maybe within 15 yards of the Paradigm? That's the big thing for me. I don't want to lose too much yardage. I know you don't want to lose much yardage, but if you've got a club where you swing a little bit more within yourself, hit the center of the face, which is what I find a lot with people with this driver, then you're actually going to get more distance out of it. Take an average. Try and go and see if you can get fitted for one of these. Give one of these a go if one of your friends has got one, and comment below, do you have any versions of the Mini Driver? Because I know there's quite a few out there, but they are quite hard to get hold of. So guys, let's get some numbers with this driver inside. It'll be very interesting to see how it stands up. Obviously, things we've got to take into account that yes, it is a shorter shaft length. It is a 3-wood shaft length pretty much, and we have got 11.5 degrees. So be very interesting to see what the difference is between that and my Callaway Triple Diamond. But if you're getting more centered hits, if you are hitting more fairways, then that certainly could still be getting you the same distance, if not a little bit more. But mainly hitting more fairways gives us a better chance to hit more greens. Not the best strike. Let's see what this does with an off-centered hit. 245 carry, going 260, so again, just right side of the fairway, so not too bad at all. Again, not too much deviation on that. A little bit of better ball flight there, let's see the carry. 250 carry, going out to 270, so nice and solid there. A little bit of a better strike, good spin on that, around about 1800 spin. That's exactly what we want. That was a better strike, more centered. You can see the height because of the loft we've got on there, carrying out at 252, again getting to 265, so good spin numbers. Good, obviously, proximity there, quite consistent with that. For me, outside, sometimes on the fairways, I've seen it get a little bit further as we'd expect, but exactly the towering height that we would be seeing from this kind of driver. And if you're looking for something for a little bit more height off your drives, then this could be perfect. But let's see how it stands up against the Paradigm Triple Diamond. Obviously, we know now, longer shaft length, 9 degrees. Let's see. Straight away, a stronger ball flight, turn that one over a little bit, but let's see. 270 carry, going 285. So straight away, gaining that 15 to 20 yards that I expected. Let's see. Again, still that lower penetrating ball flight. Let's see what that does. 260 carry, going 275. So again, that was a slightly off-centered hit. So interesting enough that a miss-centered hit maybe is going as good as a pretty well-struck Mini Driver. Okay, good. Again, ball flight is the difference there. That's going to get us that little bit more carry, 270 carry, running out to 292. So certainly some differences there for me, but now I'm striking my driver better. I have gone for this, but if you're struggling with your driver, you want something that's a little bit shorter and you swing within yourself, that could be a perfect option. But let's see now, back out on the golf course. And so guys, you'll see there by the numbers that it was very close. So obviously around about 10 to 15 yards in that, so with the best one from the Mini Driver catching up, but I still did lose distance with that. I did really enjoy it, and you can see the ball flights certainly were a little bit different inside. You can have that little bit more versatility in hitting it higher. After all, it is 11.5 degrees, the Mini Driver, so that's also going to counter into that. Could I have got the 11-degree driver and knocked that down to 9? That might have been a little bit more distance, a little bit more of a better test, but certainly something for you to consider if you're not hitting the ball well. Out here we can see on this par 5 I had 260 yards. It was leaked a little bit to the right, but just past pin high. So something that you can use on the fairway, use off the tee. If you don't have much confidence with your driver, please do consider having a look at one of these. I know a lot of people say they're very hard to get to, they're expensive, but in relative terms, they are nearly half the price of a more traditional driver, and the new drivers will be coming out in January, so you might be able to pick one up at a steal. But guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Comment below, guys, if you have one of the mini drives and you're still enjoying it. We'll see you again tomorrow.